Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cam's rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank. Again, we're bringing you some good information about Montgomery County. Before we begin, though, I kind of want to apologize. I'm having one of those drainage allergy days, so clearing my throat's just going to be the thing. You're just going to have to put up with it. Sorry about that, guys. But I'm going to try to keep it as clean as possible. Okay, today I've got Michael Keck in. He is an engineer with LJA Engineering. This is a company out of Houston that does a lot of projects like roads and things like that. Today we're going to talk about the projects that they've got in Montgomery County, and we're going to introduce to you guys this $480 million road bond that's going to be up for election in May. On May the 3rd, we're going to be making a decision about that. Now, before I begin, I want you to know that there are 4 different precincts in Montgomery County, precincts 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so what we're going to attempt to do is separate out this $480 million evenly amongst all 4 precincts and give us $120 million for each precinct. And that should cover quite a lot of mobility and transportation for the county. It's going to help us as we grow. But I'm going to let Michael get into a lot of the specifics on why we're doing this, how we're doing it, and how it's going to be beneficial for Montgomery County without affecting your tax dollars or your bottom line. Michael, good morning. How's it going, man?
Good.
Good to see you. Thanks for driving all the way out. I know it was a way for you, and I appreciate it on a Friday morning. So, by the way, it is Friday morning. It's about 9 a.m., and it's kind of raining outside, just to give you guys an idea of where we are. So, Michael, we've got a $480 million road bond that we're introducing up for vote for May 3rd, correct?
Right, May 3rd.
Okay. And how many projects does that cover altogether?
So there's just under 80 projects that are listed, and you can go to the county's website and see what they are in any given precinct.
Okay.
And there's about an equal number of projects in each precinct, which makes sense since it's an equal amount of money for each precinct.
Okay.
And they vary in the type of project. Again, you can see what those projects are on the website, but I'm available to talk about any of them that you want to talk about.
So I got a question right off the bat, and this is something I've always been curious about. What are the differences between the roads that TxDOT takes care of and constructs and the roads that the county has to construct? I mean, how do we know which ones those are?
Typically, the ones that you see with a number on them that say FM, SH, or IH, those are all state roads. And when you're talking to TxDOT, they call them the on-system roads. The ones with a name, those are typically a county road.
Okay.
Or a city street.
So like Ford Road,
That's
Tram
a county
Road.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
County roads.
And then like Loop 494 and Highway 59, those would all be
The state roads.
TxDOT.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's good information. I didn't know it before. So, okay, so we've got some projects for, like, let's say Precinct 4 that are already shovel-ready jobs. They just need funding, correct?
Right, and that's true in every precinct, that there's a certain number of projects that are shovel-ready, that the commissioners worked with us on the list and said, hey, we want these ones on the list because they're ready to go. We just need the funding for the construction. So you're going to there's an opportunity to see projects happen really quickly.
Okay. And can we get an idea of what projects those are in whatever precinct?
Sure. So in Precinct 4, Ford Road, Sorters, Old Houston, David Memorial, those are all shovel-ready. Farrell Road in Precinct 1 is one of the shovel-ready jobs. I know of most of the ones in Precinct 2 are going to be done through an on-call contract, so that they're virtually shovel-ready in that they're going to need limited engineering.
Okay.
So each precinct has ones like that are ready to go.
Yeah, Ford Road I know is a big deal. It's crowded over there all the time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of skinny and it has ditches. And they've already done all the utility work on that side, right?
Yeah, so they acquired all the property
Okay.
for that, and they're adjusting the utilities. I think there's some that still need to move, but not many.
Okay.
And that will go from a 2-lane road to a 5-lane road.
To a 5-lane.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's going to be like a center turning lane?
Turn lane, yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic comes out of Kingwood to get to 59 and back.
Yeah.
So.
It's the easier route because taking Kingwood Drive is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So these projects, how long do we think it would take before, let's say 90% of those would be completed?
It really depends because the long lead item typically on projects is the right-of-way acquisition and the utility adjustments.
Okay.
And so some of the projects, if the commissioners knew they weren't going to get them done in the next few years, what they did is they put in money to do the engineering and get the right-of-way and move the utilities. So they've taken that into account with the idea that 5 years is the typical window for a road bond to use the money up, and whether it's engineering or construction or adjusting the right of way, all of those are included in the bond.
Okay. $480 million just sounds like so much money to me, but I've never had $1 million. So,
Yeah, right.
But $480 million. And from what I've heard, this isn't going to affect our taxes at all. So there's a method by which we can fund this through growth, correct?
Right. So here's what happens is there's financial advisors that come in and they calculate a number and they provided it to the commissioner's court. That's the one that won't adjust the tax rate. Okay.
Okay.
So they basically back into that number based on the anticipated growth of the county.
Okay.
And so in any county that we've worked in, that they can back into that number and say, okay, this is the number that you can sell bonds for without impacting the tax rate.
Wow. Okay. So based on growth, so that's people moving in, getting on the tax rolls on the books that would pay that additional money.
Right.
For the debt service.
And that's not just people, but also businesses and the growth of those businesses. It's all property.
Yeah.
It's all based on property tax.
Yeah, it seems like smart business to me, though. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you have to leverage your ability to sell bonds in order to build these size of projects. Because if you did it out of your budget, you'd have to not use your budget for multiple years in order to do one project, and you really just don't do that with large purchases like a road.
Okay. Wow. So how does this? So let's say it passes in May. How long before the actual funding comes into play before we can start seeing some activity and?
Yeah. So I only know this because I'm good about watching Commissioner's Court. I'm an engineer, not a financial person, but they did say, June or July, they would have the first tranche of money.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quick. That's a fast.
And because there's shovel-ready jobs, as soon as they have the money, they can start building.
Okay.
So you could see something this year.
Wow. Okay. So let's say it doesn't pass. What are we looking at as far as mobility goes if something like this doesn't pass? I mean, we've got all these shovel-ready jobs. We've got all the other jobs that need engineering and need to be done. And I'm sure that there's been some pretty extensive studies on traffic and things like that to make determinations on what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So what if it fails?
It will be like it is now, but you'll have more people.
Worse. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I think it would severely impact our ability to move within the county is what I've been told at least. And the thing that concerns me most is like emergency services and things like that, because it would also impact their ability to get to an emergency if they need to.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So it's a no-brainer for me. I think this thing needs to pass because we're growing. And from what I've been told, we're growing at a rate that exceeds that of the 3 or 4 states around us combined. Just this county alone.
Yep. I heard
So-
the second largest growing county in the country.
That's why. It must be the food or something. I don't know.
No, it's a
what
great place to live.
it is.
That's
a good,
why.
It is a good place to live, but I mean, to me, it's still rural.
Yeah.
It's still forested a lot, and maybe that's the charm to it. But if we keep having people move in, a lot of that's going to go away. You know,
People
So,
are going to move in,
Yeah.
if it's a good environment for them to be in.
Yeah, and we have good schools and such here too. So, yeah. So, are there any of these projects that are like super major that you see as being the most important, other than the others?
I don't think
I know
so.
that the flyover has been talked about a lot for 45 and 242.
Yeah, let me address that one now. That's come up a couple times when people have talked to me about the road bond, and that project is not on this bond. And the reason why it's not
Okay.
is the county's already taken care of that. They already have a contractor that's been selected. They already put the money toward that.
Okay,
So that's
it's
already
ready to go.
It's already in process.
Okay,
So that is happening. Next couple years, you'll see that be built, and the stub out's already there. So you just
Right.
got to build it.
yeah, and I'm surprised that would be a county project because it's, again, the numbers 242 and 45. It seems like that'd be a TxDOT deal.
Yeah. So one of the things that the county's been really good at, and just for context, I've worked on Montgomery County projects for 25 years, and those are both on state and on system or state roads and off system. The county has partnered with TxDOT multiple times on projects, and they had something a number of years ago that allowed them to leverage some county money on state roads. And over in this area, like 1314 was widened with that in Precinct 4. The 1484 was built with that. 1485 was built with that.
Wow.
So the county has been a partner with TxDOT over the years, and because of that partnership, when there's something that the county wants to see, they've brought some money to the table and said, "Hey, if we put this money in it, will you put your money together?" So
Sure.
the state is funding about 60% of that project, and the
Okay.
county 40%.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know it was a partnership. I
It's
thought
a
it was just
partnership project.
on us.
And there's actually some federal money in it too.
Awesome.
So like the federal money comes through the state and on that project. So,
Okay.
but it is underway.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just wondering because I hate road construction myself. It seems like it goes on and on and on forever,
Yeah.
and I've never been able to figure out why. It's just a flat slab. Come on, But I'm sure there's a lot of infrastructure that goes with it, and
There is a lot.
electricity for lights and drainage and water and everything else.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot that goes into it. It's just like I say a lot of times. It's like making a cake. You have to put each of the ingredients in there, or you don't have it.
Yeah, for sure. So, will this $480 million road bond, will it answer our mobility problems for the next 5 years, 10 years? What do we see it as? And how fast do you think this money will be paid back?
Yeah, so let me address a couple of those things in a couple ways. Number
Okay.
one, the commissioners are the best ones to speak for whether it meets their needs. But in my professional opinion, as an transportation engineer, it does not meet the county's needs. But I mean,
Okay.
you
But we have to do
have
something.
to do something.
Yeah. Bulging at the belt.
Yeah, right.
We either got to add another loop or, we're in trouble.
It's been
Yeah.
10 years
Get it.
since there was a road bond in Montgomery County. That's a long time.
Has it been?
Yeah.
Wow. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I guess it has.
Yeah, it was 2015, November of
And
2015.
we're a completely different county now,
Right.
10 years later.
And it was 280 in 2015. You're talking about 480 now. A lot of the surrounding counties to Montgomery County, they're doing, $600 million bonds every 3
Wow.
years. So, but in the end, it's up to the commissioners to decide how much they want to spend. And as far as the bond length of time, that's a financial thing. I actually don't know the answer to that, like
Okay.
how long the bonds. But, it's usually part of the process of the funding within the county, how they pay those back.
And when you sell these bonds, there's also an interest rate that we pay back as well.
Yeah,
right?
there's an interest rate.
Okay,
And
yeah.
typically municipal interest rates are lower than the interest rates that you get from other entities, but they're safer. And that's why people buy them, because it's
Okay.
a safe investment.
I get it. Okay, well, that's cool.
Because the county's not going to go away, right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, we're not going anywhere, that's for sure. And I don't think growth is going to cease no matter what the economic outcome is in the next 6 months to a year to 2 years to 5 years.
Yeah.
I just see us continuing to grow because there's really nowhere else for people to go if they want to live close to Houston. Everything else is, pretty much built out, it seems like, it appears to me. So you can't go south, because everything's done all the way to Galveston,
Yeah.
So, north is kind of the only place you can hit. And Montgomery County is a good place to be.
Yeah, I like it. I like working up here.
Yeah.
So it's been a good place for me.
Okay. So just to reiterate, I want to kind of encapsulate everything. It's $480 million. It is a bond. It is something that the voters are going to make a decision on May the 3rd.
Right.
It doesn't increase our property taxes or anything else because it's going to be paid for by the people that are moving in along with us, of course, with the normal taxes that we pay. And it's going to really help out mobility a lot and also provide for easier paths for emergency services and things like that. Is there anything I'm missing here that you'd like to bring up as well?
No, I think we covered a lot of great stuff.
Okay.
I would encourage, whoever's listening to the podcast or the viewers, go to the county website. It has a lot of the details there, frequently asked questions.
And that county website is mctx.com or
.org.
.org. Okay.
.org.
mctx.org, guys. And you can go there. It's an easy site to navigate. It's actually put together rather well. And you can find all these projects, information about the bond. If you're a voter, do it. You got to be educated and know what you're doing. So, I think that's a good move to make.
I bet you'll see a road that you recognize that you drive.
Oh,
There's
probably
so
so.
many that are
Yeah.
on that list that everybody's going to be impacted. in
I
some
know
way.
that eventually they're going to, because they're building a new school on North Tram. So I know, or is it South Tram? I think it's South Tram. So eventually they're going to have to widen that road. It's a 2-lane road, deep ditches on each side. I think it's going to be tough
Yeah.
once that school opens. So that's going to have to be something that gets addressed by Commissioner Gray in the near future. And I hope, I doubt it, but I hope he'll extend it on our end past 2090 because this road's a mess as well.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea of the actual growth out here, when we first moved out here, and I'm just off North Tram on Wagon Wheel, if we saw 5 cars a day on Tram Road, that was considered a busy day.
Yeah.
I can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, have coffee on the porch, and I can see Tram Road from my house. I see 5 cars every 5 minutes. And then as you start to get closer to 8, 9 o'clock, there's traffic. There's traffic on Tram.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see the day, but
Wow.
it's there. And it doesn't matter where you go in the county. It's there everywhere now.
Yeah.
So, we do need to, answer all these things. And I'm confident that the voters in Montgomery County are going to be smart enough to make the decision to say, this is something we need. Let's do it. It's not going to cost us any extra, and it's going to benefit us a lot. So I think the only ones that are not going to vote for it are the ones who don't want growth, and you can't escape that.
It's coming.
So, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, it's been good to have you on. I appreciate your time. If there's anything else that I'm missing that you'd like to bring up, now's the time.
I think
do
you
it.
covered it.
Okay.
Appreciate you
Fantastic.
having me in. My role is really, just educate people on the basic facts,
Okay.
and they can look into it and facilitate their freedom for making a choice.
There you go. How hard is it to design a road? Is it tough?
It's not that hard, but don't tell anybody.
I guess it depends on whether you're cutting through forest or you're cutting through existing property that you've had to buy the rights to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
typically the contractors know what they're doing. Okay.
Really? Yeah.
So what our job is to tell them the numbers of where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is.
Really?
So
Yeah. So y'all don't specify the concrete type and the
oh yeah,
PSI
we do all that stuff. Yeah, but a lot of that's standard.
Thickness? What's the average thickness of a paved road?
It really depends on the traffic along that road, and whether you're doing asphalt or concrete. So like a typical concrete road is 6 to 8 inches in thickness.
Yeah.
Typical asphalt road is going to be more like 10 inches, and it'll have different layers.
Different base materials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, different layers depending on. A lot of times you'll have somebody come over and do geotech, so they'll punch some holes in the ground and see what kind of soil it is, and depending on that kind of soil, they'll have you do a different type. So
wow, almost like a perk test.
Something like that, yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay, real good. Well, once again, Michael, we appreciate it, man, and I'm looking forward to this happening. You know, this is going to be a good election. I think there's a lot of good things on the ballot that need to go, and I'm hoping that they will. And I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. I could use as many subscriptions as I can get. We don't get paid for this stuff, but the more subscribers that I have, the more of it gets pushed out to the public, and then I can get better guests in, and we can do a lot more for you. So, yeah, get out and vote, make intelligent choices, and do what's right for Montgomery County, Texas. Michael, I appreciate your time.
All right,
man.
thanks, Hank.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thanks. Bye-bye.